we are going to talk about taints and tolerations. And this is actually a feature that allows users to do what? To taint a particular node, right? And the only pods that will be able to be assigned to this node will have tolerations that are what? Identical to the taint, right? And you may be asking, why would you want to taint a node, right? Use case. As if one, maybe a node is under maintenance, right? Or probably it has a different architecture, probably like ARM64, and whatever you want to, whatever application you want to deploy on it is unsuitable. Whatever pod is unsuitable for this ARM64. You might want to taint that node, right? So that any pod that does not have the toleration will not just be scheduled on it, right? So that's basically what taints and toleration. And to do that is actually very simple. So let's go back to our cluster. Let's go back to our cluster, right? And I'm going to say kubectl get pods. Great. And what I want to do first now is I want to delete all these pods. So I'm going to first go out of here. I'm going to say kubectl delete F, and I'm going to say managing pods, and it's going to delete everything, and some of them are not found. There's no problems. And those are the ones I've deleted before. And now if you say kubectl get pods, everything is clean, right? So what we want to do now is, is similar to what we did when we wanted to do NodeSelector. So this one now, to taint, all we have to say is kubectl taint nodes, right? And then we give the node name and we give the particular key and value, right? So for instance, we have to give a particular key and value. So and that is going to be special true no schedule, and I'm going to write that. So first, let's say kubectl get nodes, and let's just say for some reasons we don't want anybody to assign any pod to this node. It's under maintenance, right? So what we can actually do is we can say kubectl taint nodes, and we're going to give it mini cluster worker 3, right? And now we're going to give it a particular key and value, and it's going to be special equal true, right? And we're going to say it has to have this no schedule. And in most cases in your control plane, especially when you're spinning up in probably cloud and all that, you find out that when you describe a particular node, you see this no schedule. It means don't schedule on except it has this particular key value. You see that when we write our manifest. So if I do this, and it says node mini cluster has been tainted. So whatever pod specification have this toleration is going to be the one that is going to be allowed. So with that being said, let's do something. So I'm going to say vim. Let's go inside our managing pods, and I'm going to say vim. I'm going to say 05. I'm going to call this taints. And I'm going to say and tolerations, and that's not hand. Let's see, what is it? And tolerations dot YAML, right? And it's telling me something that something. So let's not do it this way. Let's just do this, and let's go. And we're going to see API version, just like we always do, is v1. And we are going to say the kind is, of course, pod, right? And we are going to say metadata to contain this. We are going to say name equals nginx toleration, right? Nginx toleration, let's just call that nginx toleration. And this time around, we are going to say the specification. This is where we specify what we want to do. And now we are going to say tolerations. So this is where we are going to pass our key value. So I'm going to say the key here is special. The operator here is what? Equal, which is what we use. If you remember, that's what we use. And I'll go back there. And I'll say the value is what? True. And last but not the least, I'm going to say the effect it should take is what? No schedule. Right? So this is like a password for this to be scheduled on that particular node. Right? So I'm going to say, now I'm going to write our container. I'm going to say containers. And I'm going to say right here, I'm going to say the name, let's give it nginx. Doesn't matter. I'm going to say image is as well nginx, right? Or nginx, whatever you want to call it. So if you remember once again, so this should be in quotation, this right here, right? So we are saying, all right, we've tainted that node with this particular key and value and the effect, right? Now, this is the tolerations. If you see any pod with these tolerations, allow it to be scheduled on that worker 3 node. So that's what this is all about, right? So let's try this. This is the moment of truth. And let's escape and this. And now if we say kubectl apply F05 things. Let's say this, and pod has been created, and we say kubectl get pod wide. And if we look at this, this is actually a mini cluster worker, right? Well, it doesn't matter, right? So even if we still do it, so let's try another one. Let's say vim verify, and this time let's name this another thing. Can name it nginx toleration. I'm going to say hi. I'm going to come down. I'm going to say 2. I just call this 2, but this may not want to work, but let's try it. So now let's say apply, and it has created the second one. Let's get port 0 wide, and this is in mini cluster worker 2. And let's try it one more time and see. You have to try it to see. And if we go to 3, right, 3, we're going to save it. We're going to try it one more time. CTL apply. This is 3. And if we check that, and it's in worker 3 as well, right? And its content is doing this. So if I say kubectl get taints, right? Sorry, if I say, let me say kubectl describe node mini cluster worker 3, right? Let's do it this way, and I hope I've written that well. And I want you to see the specification. You see, no schedule. This is folder identity. Where is that? Labels is appdb. And unschedulable. Yeah, things. Special true, no schedule. So now if we create another pod, and this time around we say ls and we say vim 05, we already have 05 taints tolerations 2 YAML. And if we do this and just write just a simple pod, this time API version, let's say v1, I'm going to say kind is pod, and I'm going to say metadata, and say name my Debian, let me just call it that. And this time around I'm going to say specification, and I'm going to say specification, let's just say containers, right? No specifications, let's just say containers, and let's just give it, say name let's say deb, and I'm going to say image is Debian. Yeah, great. And let's save that. And now let's run this. I'm going to say kubectl apply. kubectl apply -f. Don't forget, it doesn't have that toleration, so it will never be scheduled on that particular node. So if I say kubectl get pods all wide, no matter what we do, it will never be scheduled on mini cluster worker 3 because it doesn't have that. Try it, and you see that it will never be, as long as it does not have the toleration. So that's how this works. Right. Thank you. Please subscribe.